Welcome to the Found Her podcast.
We are two women who knew nothing about starting a business, but with our faith and a lot of determination, we founded our company that has grown to over 7 figures in just 3 years.
We're sharing all that we've learned, our secrets to building a brand and a long-lasting foundation to gain time and financial freedom.
We're both moms to 4 kiddos, and through the peaks and valleys of being a business owner, we're finding our true purpose, and it's more than we ever imagined.
So join us as we get real and have some fun along the way. Hello.
Hi. Happy Valentine's Day.
Woof.
Well, why you say woof?
I mean, let's start on a positive note about all the things I love about Valentine's Day.
Chocolate.
No, I mean, I don't like it. I like it for like the kids. I remember when they were little, I would always make like a heart-shaped cookie. We would bake together. I always made them like little things. And I was thinking of this last night. Like I decorated the house. I had like heart little garland things on the windows. Like I had heart-shaped plates and heart plate. I was a little bit of a different person back then. But I had like a whole bin of like Valentine's Day decorations.
Oh,
right. But it was like for
those
the
are going
kids.
at the yard sale this year.
But now that the kids are older, I'm like, you know.
Well, I guess just that girls and boys are two different animals.
Right. The girls are all about it. Like I still did a basket for them this morning. A little red basket full of like, you know, Sephora junk and candy.
Hey, right?
Trying to still be a good mom and rock it. But it is funny that you were saying like, so we're florists, but we like hate Valentine's Day. But I think that's actually more common than you think.
I hate it. I hate it. Our holiday. I'm sorry.
No, I've hated red roses since I was born. Really, always. I remember I had a boyfriend when I was 16, and he got me flowers, and I put them in the trash. Like I hate them.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell him, but.
So I've always hated it, but you know, it's kind of like that thing that you're supposed to. So before my husband and I were married, we were coming home from work separately, right? And we lived in another town, and on our way home, you know, it's like 6:30. I'm like, I'm nothing. Like, okay, fine. I'll just stop and get a stupid card. Like, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
I pull into
Wait, do girls have to get it for boys?
Card. And so I pull into Walgreens.
Uh-huh.
And I go to turn down the card aisle. And who's standing there? But mine, also doing the same thing. And I'm not sure if you know this about me, I'm cheap. I'm exceptionally cheap.
You're in the 99-cent card section.
Well, we're spending $4.99 each on a card here. Like, this is dumb. So from that day forward, we don't give each other cards. We don't buy each other anything on Valentine's Day. We'll just we went on Saturday night and got a beer.
Would he ever like write you a love note?
Have you met him?
No.
No.
Okay, this is this is a little bit morbid, but do you ever think though that if something were to happen to him, would it be nice to have something like handwritten from him? Like as if he never buys you cards and you've agreed to your entire marriage, you've never done cards.
No, we do cards for anniversaries, just not Valentine's Day.
Okay.
That's
fair.
Because
not to be already thinking about when he's gone. Because clearly he's first. But I'm just thinking I don't know. I think of things in that way now when I like, do I save this card? Like I don't know. Sometimes things happen that make you pivot a little bit and think about things differently. Like, would I want to save this for future, you know?
Yeah, no, I still don't care. I'm not spending the money on a Valentine's card, that's for sure. So
it makes me write more to my kids. I don't think I'd ever write my kids anything, but like I wrote them in a little note in their little thing this morning because you never know what tomorrow may bring.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep. I woke up this morning, my alarm went off, and I was like, oh shoot. I'm just gonna sleep for like 30 more minutes. How is it already 5:30? Like what in the world? And then I was laying there and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't do those stupid party in a bags. So I like fly up out of bed and then I'm going through like the list of all the things you're supposed to send in your dumb party in a bag. And I'm like, I don't have a sweet treat. So here I am at 6 o'clock in the morning, 30, whatever time it was, baking cookies.
I was at Dunk's by 6 a.m.
Yeah. And so I packed up their bags, and then I have, when they get home, I have a little bag because my husband's out of town for the next couple of days. So I'm like, I need like things to entertain them. But man, boys don't care. All they're giving them is candy. And they're like, if I see one more heart, Mom, or anything pink, get out of here.
That's cute.
I know.
Yeah. So
I feel bad.
why, as a florist, do you Valentine's Day? Is it just because you feel like it's just another like contrived money making scheme?
Oh, for sure.
But aren't you the recipient of the money
not
making?
Always, not always. No.
Sometimes the effort does not equal the return.
No, it does not. 99.8% of time, I'll give it that 0.01. 0.1. But no, I don't know. It's not something you and I also, when we think about like how the store shows up, we never, our version of decorating for Valentine's Day and giving it a present is in the store, or is it pink or red? And if it is, then it can be Valentine's. We don't actually build this collection.
Pink and red are not really our brand colors. But also, we will do another whole episode dedicated to the price of flowers and how underrated they are. And the price of flowers right now is again through the roof, kind of like it was back in COVID. And people just have no idea, one, why they cost so much. I feel like education is key. Why they cost so much. Why do we have to charge what we charge?
And I also feel like what's most important, particularly for florists, you have to stay consistent in your pricing to the industry standard. Otherwise, you're doing the industry a disservice. Because if all of a sudden you show up with a price point that just is not in line with what your competition is doing, you're actually hurting all those people around you that are trying to do the same work you are. You have got to stay in line with what, pricing is.
Okay, you're getting very off topic.
I know, so sorry.
Hold that for another day.
Well, it's in right now because it's relevant. Okay, so here we go.
It is relevant. But today we are going to talk about something that's really super important, and it's a real, as new entrepreneurs, when can you hire your first person?
Right now.
The answer is always right now. But we had all the excuses in the book. So we're gonna talk about what mistakes we made so that other people make them, because I feel like if we had done things differently, we could have been either further ahead even faster.
100%.
Right. So let's talk about the things you think as a new business owner. You think you're super scrappy. You have no extra money. You
all your money
try to do it all yourself.
Why pay somebody when I can do it?
When I can do it myself, right? Yep. So you're working 80 to 100 hours a week. Nights you're up to midnight every night.
Oh, and I just saw this like I don't know what they're called, memes, gifs, I don't know, some little video thing on social media. And it was like, I quit my 9 to 5 so I could work 80 hours a week and have no free time.
Yeah. It's like, oh, it's the dream. Isn't it just the dream?
Dream. Oh gosh.
Right. I mean, that's the thing about, there's all the downfalls, right, of corporate America in the 9 to 5 grind.
Right.
For somebody else. But I know for my job, yours wasn't the same, but when I clocked out or left, you leave it all behind you and you can go and have a life. And that's not the case now. And now we work 24 hours a day.
Mine was not that way. But,
no. So we're going to talk about a hire we made almost 6 months ago that has been pivotal, I think, in our business. And it's a VA, which stands for virtual assistant.
You just threw that out there so quick.
So quick.
We didn't even tee it up, or we're just going to go for it.
Yeah, I am. But we're going to talk about why that should be a first hire, because I think a lot of people, even as shop owners, right, we think, oh, I'm going to hire somebody to be in the shop so I don't have to always be there, which is not, I think that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
Or you think I'm going to hire maybe a bookkeeper. Or so, because I hate numbers. I don't know what I'm doing.
Never hire an in-house bookkeeper. Do it as a service. Hire a professional You don't want them on your payroll. You don't need them on your payroll.
That's a great piece of advice.
Mm-hmm. Never. Unless you're a finance company. You don't need them on your payroll.
Unless you literally are all accounts.
Right? You're starting an accounting firm. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we started, when we started, we did, right. We hired, having the twins, and we needed help, and we had a friend who was.
Sometimes you do just need a body.
Just need help.
Yeah.
I mean, she's way more.
I don't mean it that way.
Yeah. And it started off with the floor coverage and supporting us to keep the business open. And we had 16 team members. And now we're at 10 and with one location, which feels really, really good. So we're in a good spot. But back this summer, I remember we were on my walks and talking, and a couple years ago at my magical conference that I went to, we had a company, and yeah, this concept of a virtual assistant came up.
Right. So you first learned about it at Ramsey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were a sponsor of the conference that we went to. So Belay.
Belay is the company that sponsored the Ramsey event. So that's how you first heard about it. Ramsey's been using Belay forever.
Yeah, and Belay is an agent. I guess an agency. I don't know if that's the right word. I definitely not versed in talking about them, but they're a company that specializes in virtual assistant. They are a virtual company, and we're going to talk way more about them, but
they're going to have a guest spotlight here in a couple of weeks.
We've got a couple of weeks that we're talking just about Belay, but honestly, this is what we do. We focus on virtual assistants, and they source them. They know what they're looking for. They know how to screen. It took so much pressure off of us.
Yeah. How do you know that you can afford a VA?
You can. They're going to make you money. I sound so confident.
You do sound so confident, but you confident.
Like you said, coconut.
So because you kind of pitched me, and before we even got on like the intro call, and it was really at a pivotal time in our business where I think we were thinking about going from 2 locations, back all together. Does this make sense? It wasn't like we had loads of extra money and we're like, how should we spend all this extra money? It was, we have this amount of work that we cannot get done. We've wanted to do this list of things for probably a year.
Yep.
We tried to do these things and it just wasn't happening. There was never enough time to do these extras that we wanted to do. And we're like, okay, I think we need to just ask somebody else to help us get these things off of our list.
Right.
And you could really tailor your plan to how many hours. Like, what's the minimum amount of hours? Do you know?
I don't. But it's in increments of 5. I know that much. I don't know their minimum.
Like, could you?
They tailor everything. So what happens is, we can connect you with our contact. So if you're interested, email us. We'll put the email down on the screen. But what we can do is connect you with our partner at Belay, and basically they learn from you what you're looking for. And remember you were at first, when I was telling you about it, you were like, well, what are they going to do? And I'm like, I don't know everything. And you were like, what do you mean? I was like, I can't even wrap my head around this concept. So I do want to kind of like really break it down, because I didn't even know what a VA was. It's just outside of what you think of typical like hiring and screening processes that we've ever done in our area. We get inquiries all of people that want to work here and have special skills and different things and have talents and that we can plug in to our company in certain ways. But our list was like all over the place. We're like, we need help with, finance. I would like help with shopping, inventory, social media, graphics, website.
Oh, can you fix the website? I mean, we're starting a podcast. Can you do that too? Like literally we threw
everything,
almost every single part of our business out in that introductory call. They literally want you to list out everything that you could imagine ever wanting help with.
Yep.
And then they pick this person.
Well, we have to do before. So we listed out everything. So we knew when we were going in, once we said yes. And so when you talk to our contact, they hear you and they listen, and then they make a recommendation of how many hours based on your needs that it would fit you and the business. And then from there you can decide. And so we said, cool, like, let's do this. And then you're interviewed. So that's where we listed out our list of things that was, as Heather said, exponentially long and a variety of
I thought it was impossible.
Right.
Like that,
They were like,
you're
never.
just throwing everything out there. Like, yeah, can you do social posts and you can do this and you can do like it was like no
can
one
you plan a vacation? Can you book our travel when we have to go to market? Can you do this? Can you do that?
I literally thought it was just impossible. I was totally a skeptic. I didn't think that there's any way you could find one person that would, I would say one person that can do all of it and that we like genuinely really like.
Right.
Person.
And also just when you think about that, like, okay, I need to find this person. I need to source them. I need to interview them. How do I find them? What about if I don't get anybody?
Yeah. And you're typically looking for local people too. Yeah. So this is a nationwide search.
And they do all that work for you. They screen, I forget the statistic, but let's say there was like 10,000 applicants, they whittle it down. It was like 110 that moved through a pool. And then, the final 40 are selected onto VA. So it's a very tight selection process. And they are tech savvy. They're efficient. They're just amazing people. So, that was a godsend right there. That's for sure. That contact and Epilay, and then getting matched with who we got matched with. So
I know. And we're going to meet her.
You're going to get to talk to her. So if you have any questions,
please come up. Think about virtual assistant questions, what that could mean for your business.
And that doesn't mean, I do want to say this because I think it's really important. So definitely looking back, wish first hire, but even if you've already made hires, that's okay. That person isn't going to necessarily take the place of people. What they're going to do is help them make their job easier. And so what we've been able to do is actually use our virtual assistant to support some of our teams in, creating a tool to help them manage their time more effectively, take some things off the plate so that they can really focus on the work that's most important. It's really,
hey, can you spreadsheet for me? Hey, how can you help me create this tool so that I can do my job more effectively?
She's definitely like the VA for the whole team, which is really, really cool.
Which is that is money well spent when it's not just affecting the two of us,
right?
But really the team as a whole and the growth of the business as a whole. What are some of the things that have been like our wish to do list?
Podcast,
obviously. Obviously. What are some of the to dos?
Yeah, I think some of the things, that one for me anyways, like understanding how your business operates, understanding what's driving your business, you pull the data that supports it to understand as you make decisions. A lot of tools that I've wanted to have, I just didn't have the capacity to do it. And not only has she done it for us, but she's done it better than I probably could have imagined. We've gotten a handle, just the way we've been able to forecast and project, but also follow back up with.
And say when you have the data, it takes time to collect the data,
right?
Make the reports, and sometimes that's tedious. And you think, oh, I can wing it, like we talked about last time. Like you think you can just wing it, give it my best guess, see what happens. Okay, that's not really a great foundation to put your business on. And so now you can like pull the hard data, the reports, know exactly how much to spend.
Yeah, and I never thought I would let someone in to help me with the finance piece, because that's like the behind closed door stuff. Like you don't share a lot of that information unless you have complete trust with somebody. But she, for the past 4 months or so, has been right there next to me. She sees it all of it.
She's gonna get in there even more.
Even more. Need more help. But and same thing for you. I mean, she's building carts, sending them over to you, and then now we're having her take another step, and it's just making life easy for the girls here. Taking a lot of pressure off of us, I think.
Yeah.
And we're just getting started. Like, holy smokes, we're only 6 months in. Imagine where we'll be.
Yeah, we've always thought about, I don't know how many of you guys use Like to Know It, but we've always wanted to have Like to Know. I mean, we have so many of our favorite products that we have always wanted to share, you know, what's in our toolbox, what's in our design toolbox, what's in our wedding box, what's, you know, what are our favorite things that we use around the shop that make our lives easier? What are our favorite floral tools and things that help us build beautiful arrangement? Like so many things that we want to share. And so, I mean, that you just do not have time to do as a business owner. And so she's been able to help us gather that stuff and get it out there, which is just more helpful tools for everybody else.
And then the other part that I think is really great is there's so many times you're like, yep, I'm going to do this. Yes, I'm going to do this. I'll get that to you by Monday. Okay. VA, hold accountable. She'll follow up with you. Yeah. She's like, and I'm just saying she, because she, she'll follow up and be like, hey, she'll say to us, hey, I'm going to have that to you by Wednesday at 5:00. Well, don't you know that it's usually there by noon on Wednesday? And then if there's any issue, there's an email communication letting you know what the deadline is. But then she expects the same thing from us in return. So if we owe her something and we don't, there's an email following up with us or a phone call like, hey, I need that. And so it makes you approach your work differently, what you commit to, what you yes to, what you prioritize.
Yeah, the accountability is huge because you'll find people on your team sometimes just want to be there to support you, but you're technically their boss. So they're not going to be on your case if you don't get them something on time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They're not going to hold you accountable the same way as somebody who's really working alongside of you to help you further your business.
Even though we want them to. It takes time. It definitely takes, for sure.
Okay. So I'm gonna kind of go back to our notes because there's a lot of really good points that we missed. We said, how do you know when you're ready for this step? And we both immediately were like,
you're ready. Right now.
You're ready right now.
Email us. We'll connect you with Belay.
But there were some points though that I would like caveats, if you will, on things that you do need to have in place. I feel before you're ready for this step.
Yeah.
Because it is a little bit of an investment, obviously, well worth every single penny, but you have to have a very clearly defined vision of your business, where you want it to go, because this VA is going to help you get there. So they need to know that goal that you have set in mind so that they can come alongside you and be like, okay, this is, you know, they're almost advisors in a way that will always bring you back to your main goal.
Yeah. I also feel like, you know, aligning them to your guide, you know, when we created the brand standards guidelines, giving them that tool. I mean, she has it printed and she references that every time. So there's no question. She knows
somebody who aligns. You mean somebody who aligns with your vision, your philosophy, your mission, all of those things, and is in agreement and aligns with your values. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, as much as you want to open up with them, this is your business that you are creating. So you're the driver. You're the driver of the train. You know where it needs to go, and they're to come alongside you. They're not the driver. You're the driver. We had a whole meeting. You're the boss. Of course, then look at your budget, figuring out how many hours you can give. So I think we started small. Within a few months, we already knew we wanted to increase hours. We didn't do it right away. We're getting there now, but it was immediately, we're like, we want to, as much as we can afford to max out, we want to do.
Yeah.
And then I would say to prioritize the biggest outcome that you think that they can help you with. So I'm going to actually say, unlike what we did, I don't know, we gave an array of all the things that are our wish list. And I can't say that immediately when she started, we gave her all of these, you know, things.
Oh, I have something
to do, but it's like, what is the pinpoint that can get you the most outcome? Kind of like we talked about picking the one goal that will get you the furthest. It's almost like honing in so that you can see immediate results. Sometimes, again, when you pick all these different things, it's hard to see the movement forward. So
So what I think was
Creating
important
some
though,
clear goals.
yeah, important for us to share everything that we wanted. And so also when you work with Belay, you get a client service manager. So you have somebody that basically, they manage the VA directly, but they're your point of contact. So let's say you had issues or anything like that, you have this person. But we talked about what's your 30-day goal, what's your 60-day goal, what's your 90-day goal. And so when we walked through those things, those were how we identified what we were going to focus on first. And I remember one of the first things, it was huge for me. I was like, what's one of your goals? And I was like, I want email off my phone. I don't want it. I'm over it. I'm done. I was working all the time. Within 30 days, I deleted work email off my phone.
I think it was like within
15, maybe.
Like 2 weeks. And it was like cleaned up and off your phone.
Yeah. Because I remember when we were listening to Jessica Zimmerman and she was like, don't have your work email on your phone. And we were like, yeah, okay, lady, crazy. But in the back of my mind, I was like dreaming about it because of my last job. I had my work phone and my personal phone. And if I was off, I left my work phone at home. But if I have my work email on my personal phone and I'm, on vacation, I'm still checking it. We yell at each other all the time for it.
Yeah.
And so she created a system for us that, helps us filter and prioritize the emails that come in. She now handles a lot of the responses. And now I still check it every day, but I start with it on my laptop. And I deleted it in less than a month. And I'm never putting it back on my phone. I don't care. I'm not doing it. Never.
Well, that's also great advice too.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes back to setting boundaries and
it is possible. And I never thought it was. It is.
You've lived to tell the tale. It's an email ever.
Whatever.
You check it at the beginning of the day, the end of the day,
I'm
maybe.
Probably still one of the first people to see it and know about it.
Yeah, you really are. You do not miss a thing. And then I think we touched on it a little bit too. My last why is innately every person, whether you're a business owner or not, but you will procrastinate and put off things that you dislike doing.
Yep.
Down to everything,
Everything.
I won't take out the trash until, it's coming down the street because I don't know. I don't like it. I don't, whatever. Yeah. I just procrastinate the things I don't want to do or things that I'm not all that good at. Let's see for instance, if you asked me to create a spreadsheet or a presentation I'm just saying, let's just say that I had to do that.
No, I mean, you creating it, you'd be like avoiding it like the plague.
Right? I would avoid it because
no.
It's going to take me a really long time. I'm not going to enjoy it because I'm going to be slow. I don't want to do it because she's going to critique it and fix it and it's going to suck. And I already know, so I don't want to do it.
That's how I feel about styling. Sometimes that's why
you don't go. Great.
She's going to be over my shoulder. Why'd you put that there?
A little bit to the left.
Can you switch that? No, I'm just going to do that.
No. But anyway, that I think is a pain point that prohibits you from moving your business forward because there'll always be things that there's no way we can know everything about everything. We're not proficient at everything. And we definitely need help with some things.
And they're faster. They are
so
just faster than you will ever be.
Yeah.
You are the brains behind the business. You have to let the people be your hands.
Mm-hmm.
Like you cannot be both. I learned that very early on and this whole business thing. You can't always be the hands to the business because if you're always the hands of the business and you let go of the brains, you're just the employee of the business and you're never actually like moving. You're not getting the business forward. You're not thinking about it. This was your idea. This was your concept. So if you just like stop thinking about it and you just start working it, well, that is never going to evolve. And
yeah, that's probably the most, and a lot of businesses are hands-on, right? You don't get the luxury of having a team. If you're, you are the florist. I'm not saying that you should stop making florals, that you shouldn't be in the business, but or if you're a contractor, or it's not saying that you shouldn't be hands-on and still making pieces.
Those people that you bring around you, and first, number one, that virtual assistant, maybe they're ordering supplies because you hate ordering supplies. Maybe
they're responding to email because guess what? You don't want to spend your night after you've been working all day
they're updating your portfolio and your website because you don't want to after you've made 300 arrangements for Valentine's Day. You just don't.
Right.
Right. So
yeah, we're working on our contractor to get a VA because we think it would make both of
his
our
life
lives
so easy.
I'm gonna say both of our lives. We're really doing it for us selfishly.
Right. Maybe we'll just, our VA can work for him too. And then it'll just be glorious.
Right. I mean, schedule your appointments. I mean, our contractor has, lots of different teams and he's on lots of different jobs. And we're like, oh, you just need a scheduler.
You just need a VA.
That good, right? Just schedule all your teams that are going out.
Anyway. I feel like now, so when I worked my last job, like a lot of times be like looking for top talent. You'd go out to dinner and you're like, get a great, server. You'd be like, oh my gosh, I want them to be on my team. I'm gonna leave my business card. I'm gonna recruit them. Oh. Now I feel like what I spend the most time doing is pitching Belay. I talk to so many business owners and I'm like, oh yeah, keep telling me your problems. Mm-hmm. I have the answer for you. We have the
answer. We have no idea the nugget of
I'm giving information right now.
We're giving you right now. Okay, so we're gonna have the link in the show notes.
Email us if you have any questions. Yep. And then if you're interested in being partnered with Belay, email. We'll put you in contact with our contact.
Yeah, and I do want to say this. We're gonna meet RVA coming up soon, but let's just say you did not connect with your VA. They've picked this person for you,
and you're not jiving.
You're not jiving. Just may not be their work. It just could be their personality isn't really meshing with yours. How do we get out of this? What do we do?
Gosh, you just call your client manager. You talk to your client manager that you have.
That we're not a good fit.
Yeah. And then they continue to help you. Yeah. And they will tell you those statistics. They walk through all of that in your initial call of how unlikely that will happen. Mm-hmm. Because what has to happen too, the people that want to, basically interview with Belay to be your VA, like you don't get a choice. It's like, okay, we found your VA for you. And you get like a quick meeting, talk about trust. But I lost my train of thought. Oh, they're the ones that do all the sourcing. And because of your interview, they have to watch your interview. That's why you spend so much time talking about your business. So the more prepared you are for that, it sets them up for success. And I think, the other part too, this took me I'd probably say about 6 hours or so, but I made like a VA list tool, that I thought was sufficient. She's definitely elevated it since she's been here, but I basically wrote out any resource she may need, because some of the silly questions that you get, your password, what's the website, where can I find this, who's that point of contact? So it was literally in a Google Sheet doc. And I was like, here's our team, here's our address and all of our like weird things you know about us. Here's where we shop. Here's all of our contact information. Like it was like a 12-page spreadsheet gave her. So now she can just like pull it up if there's a time that she needs to reference something. And then we also gave her the brand standards guidelines, so she knows our colors, our fonts, like question.
Yes. And so alongside of having a VA like ours, Belay also does like accounting.
Oh my!
Like there are finance-specific VAs that really just work on that side.
Yeah. So you can have somebody that is focused on the finance side for bookkeeping, light bookkeeping. Oh gosh, we had a fractional CFO opportunity that just was something I talked about with somebody at Belay. There's also people that can do just social media. So that's their specialty, whether it's email communication, copy, social, whatever. And then there's just your traditional VAs who do a little bit of everything. They can even help you personally. I don't know. Everybody's life is different. Like make your doctor's appointments, let's say you went for a physical in 20 years. Well, they'll find you a doctor and schedule it for you. They'll do everything.
Plan your vacations.
You have to fill out, remember that big packet we had?
I did fill it out.
Was there
your passport information? I was I don't really think I'm not really going anywhere that you're planning a trip for me yet.
Your preferences on your airline. Oh, I took the time. I filled out that whole thing. So I was like, here you go.
I still have it. It's empty.
Oh, because I'll tell you why, because you're avoiding it, because you don't like paperwork. I love paperwork. I'll fill it out all day long.
You know what? I bet she could fill it out for me by now.
Probably. We should probably just put that on our low priority list. Oh my gosh. Okay. But when you look back,
Yeah.
why did we wait so long to do
I don't
this?
know. I don't know.
Because now when I'm sitting here talking about it, I'm like, oh my gosh.
I think that we just thought we couldn't afford it. And
Yeah.
now having done it, we couldn't afford not to do it, but we didn't.
Oh, that was good.
Right?
Yeah.
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 We just thought we couldn't afford it.
And what made us like finally pull the trigger? Oh, I think I know. I remember.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was me. I didn't tell you.
Oh,
I
okay.
just did it.
Well, now's a good time to tell me.
No, I was going for a walk and I was walking with one of my friends and I was talking to
I
her.
was talking to God. And he said,
He brought me belay. But I was talking to her just about some pain points or whatever. And she goes, oh my gosh, you need to talk to my friend so-and-so.
oh.
She starts talking about all this stuff. And then I'm listening to her and I'm
And
like,
you're like, wait a minute, I know this company.
yeah, I go, wait a minute, I have a question. Is this belay? And she's like, yeah, how'd you know? And I was like,
Uh,
Ramsey, one. And two, I've like hemmed and hawed about it. Like, I don't know. And so she was the person that connected me.
mhm.
And then from there, you were away. And I just took the initial call. I took a couple other things. And then I was like,
so
by the way, Heather, I need you to jump on a call.
everybody listening, take this as your sign. This is your sign.
Email us right now. and
We're not
say,
getting
"I
any.
need
We're not
to
getting
know."
anything from this. Also, like we truly believe in this.
But we don't want you to get lost in the shuffle. We want you to go directly to the contact so you know
Yeah.
you're going to jump right in there and you're not sending out some contact us form. We're going to put you right in contact with one of our client managers.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you will not regret it.
You
And it
will
was
thank
really
us.
fun. So we've got RVA coming up, which will be fun.
Yep.
I feel like maybe she might have to interview us.
I know.
That could be fun.
Oh, she's
And
so
then
fun.
are we having the CEO delay?
We are. And her story is really, really cool.
Cool.
I'm going to
So-
let her tell that story. But
That'll be really fun coming up.
talk about inspirational. Yes, but we'll have the CEO of Belay on this call.
So fun.
Yay.
Okay. We
Okay.
have to end like on a fun note because that was like a lot of serious business.
I
feel like.
know, but it's just life changing.
I know it really is. I mean, I feel like
You want your life back as a business owner? Hire a VA. You want some fun? Hire a VA.
okay. And take your commercial.
Okay, let's go to No Questions Off Limits. Whatever that series or part of our show is called. Here we go.
Remember how we're gonna get a musical intro?
Mhm.
Fun. Okay.
I'm going to go with question
What's
first.
like a fun question?
Well, this one that's right here, I'm going to let you answer it because I feel like you and I are going to have the same answer because Heather and I are weirdos about this.
Oh.
Do you like the snow?
Yeah. That actually is something we agree on. You don't like to be in the snow.
Mm-mm.
I do like to ski and snowboard and do all of the mountain activities.
I don't intentionally put myself in the
Snowmobile.
cold.
You just both have a love for storms, we can say.
Love storms. Yep. And
So-
we'll go back and forth. My report says this. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Here we go.
I know we do like screenshot the reports and like nerd. And she listens to the Weather Channel like all the time. We are kind of dumb like that, but we love a big storm. And so this weekend, I feel like this week was such a big disappointment.
Such a big disappointment.
We were supposed to get 12 inches, and then we got.
I think
I
I
don't
covered
even
the
think we-
sole of my shoe.
I don't even think we got to one, and then that was it.
That was it.
No.
I don't know.
It was really sad.
But I still think about, right? Like, best job ever. But that mini hurricane that we had where we had to close the store in December, there was no alert like leading up to that. Looking back, that was like the worst storm we've had in
I know,
years.
not to diss anybody out there that's a meteorologist, but really, what are you doing? Right?
Hire me.
Hire me.
I work there. Doesn't
So-
matter.
In third grade, we had to pick like what we might want to be.
You wanted to be a meteorologist?
I was a meteor. I can still remember my outfit, everything at the chalkboard, giving my presentation on my weather system. Yeah, and I love weather. I think it's funny, even in third grade, like I love weather. I
Me
want to.
too.
Oh, there's a new tornado movie coming. out.
Twisters.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
It's the duo. I'm so excited. Can't wait to see it.
I know.
Can't wait.
But
I'm gonna be there. Right.
when I would say I'm gonna give us maybe when we're like 72, okay? Because I think it's gonna be a while because we've got a business to run in this. This is on the low priority list. But I
We're
think
going to meteorology school.
no, we're gonna go on a tornado chaser.
Okay. So
You can have those tours and like
I'm not until 72. It's like my bucket list. So you in 3rd grade may have wanted to be a meteorologist.
Did you want to be a storm chaser?
I did. I used to. So I would play storm chaser. I would sit in my parents' car with my friends.
Okay, well, I'll one up you on that. When I was 16, I had a little red sports car. Shocking. And I chased a tornado. I did. I lived in Michigan and I chased it for I was gone for hours. I don't know. I didn't see it. It was my dream. It's always been my dream to see one. And I didn't see it.
Oh my gosh.
But I did. I did chase it down. Actually, I take that back. I have seen it. I have had one chase me on the highway.
Well, yeah, I would like that is one trip I'd like to book, to go on, is a storm chasing trip. My brother-in-law and I almost booked one because he also loves storms.
Maybe for your 50th.
I would like that for my 50th.
I feel like 50th maybe.
Plan it now. I want to go. I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
And you can fly.
I want to talk about my 50th since it's coming up so much sooner than
not
yours?
yet because I've kid pickup and work and I have to run. However, I did
trying to get some hints.
You fly into Colorado. It starts in Colorado, ends in Kansas. I've done the research. I'm going. And maybe I'll just move to Oklahoma and storm chase on the weekends.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
And you could do the what?
You can do the weather report. I
didn't know we had this much of really love for weather. This is hilarious. Okay. Until next time.
See you next time.